My best friend flirted with my boyfriend, the woman I trusted. I never thought I'd be the kind of person to snoop. But everything changed when suspicion crept into my life, like a dark cloud blocking the sun. I'm Rachel, a 29-year-old woman, deeply rooted in my faith and values. For the past 3 years, I've been an active member of my church's women's group. It's a close-knit circle where we come together to pray, support one another, and navigate life's struggles. Among all the women in the group, one woman stood out, Efia. She was always the one with a warm smile, the one who remembered everyone's birthday, the one who always had a kind word to say. She seemed like the epitome of what every Christian woman should be. I admired her for it. She had a way of making people feel special, like she genuinely cared about them. And for a while I thought she was my friend. But that was before everything started to unravel. The scandal that shattered trust. A few months ago, the unthinkable happened. Ekosia, one of the women in our group, accused Efia of having an affair with her husband. It was a bombshell. Ekosia said she had found texts between her husband and Efia, texts that were too flirtatious, too intimate for comfort. Of course, Efia denied everything. She said Ekosia was overreacting, that she was just being friendly, that there was nothing to it. The group was divided. Some believed Ekosia, others believed Efia. And then there was me. I stayed neutral. I didn't know what to think. But deep down, something didn't sit right with me. Efia was always so friendly, so open, but now I was beginning to wonder if there was more to her kindness than met the eye. The first signs of trouble. Fast forward a few months and suddenly my boyfriend, Keith, started acting strange. Keith and I had been together for 4 years. He was everything I thought I needed in a partner, kind, loving, loyal. But lately he'd been spending more time on his phone, his smile getting wider with every new message. I didn't think much of it at first. Maybe he was just busy at work or catching up with friends. But then I noticed something that made my heart skip a beat. Every time Efia was around, Keith seemed different. He'd smile more, act a little more cheerful. I tried to brush it off, but it ate at me. I thought about the accusations against Efia, and then it hit me. Could there be something between them? The discovery. One night, after a long day, Keith fell asleep on the couch, his phone resting next to him. My heart raced as I glanced at the screen. I knew I shouldn't, but I couldn't help it. My fingers trembled as I unlocked his phone. And there it was, one text message from Efia. The message was innocuous enough, but something about it sent a chill down my spine. It was a selfie of her with the words, "Thinking of you." I scrolled up. There were dozens of messages. Flirty, light-hearted messages. They'd been texting for weeks. There was nothing overtly explicit, but there was enough to make my stomach turn. My heart sank, and the trust one had built with Keith began to crumble in front of my eyes. The next day I confronted him. Keith brushed it off, saying Efia was just being friendly, that I was overreacting. But I couldn't let it go. I told him about Ekosia's accusations. I told him about Efia's past behavior, about the rumors I had heard. Keith grew uncomfortable but continued to deny anything was happening. His words didn't bring me peace, they only left me with more doubts. Confronting Efia. I knew I had to get to the bottom of it. I called Efia. I tried to stay calm, but the hurt and confusion were impossible to hide. I asked her about the text. She acted shocked, even offended. "I would never do that to you," she said. "You know I'm just a friendly person." But her words felt empty, hollow, as if she was reciting lines from a script. I wanted to believe her, but everything in me screamed that something wasn't right. Days passed, and the knot in my stomach only tightened. Then, just when I thought I couldn't feel more betrayed, Ekosia called me. She had news. It was worse than I could have imagined. The past that haunts Efia. Ekosia had spoken to women from Efia's old church. They all had similar stories. Efia would get close to their husbands or boyfriends, always under the guise of being friendly, but it always ended in drama. Always. This wasn't the first time Efia had done this. Ekosia even had names, dates, and stories of women who had been burned by Efia's friendship. I couldn't deny it anymore. This wasn't just a case of friendly texts. This was a pattern of behavior. Efia wasn't just being friendly. She was manipulative, playing a dangerous game that she had perfected over the years. I didn't want to believe it, but the evidence was too overwhelming to ignore. The breaking point. I did the unthinkable. I went through Keith's phone again. I had to know. This time I found more. More texts from Efia, messages that were even more explicit. She had been sending him late-night texts, telling him how much she missed him and wishing they could spend more time together. Keith's responses were flirtatious as well. My heart shattered. I felt like the rug had been ripped out from under me. How could I have been so blind? How could Keith, the man I thought I could trust with my life, betray me like this? I was at a crossroads. Do I confront Keith again? Do I expose Efia for what she truly is? Or am I overreacting? Is this just a series of misunderstandings, or is this something deeper, something that needs to be addressed for good? The choice. I feel like I'm drowning. My trust in Keith is shattered, and my relationship with Efia is completely broken. I'm torn between the woman I thought was my friend and the man I thought was the love of my life. I've prayed about it, but the answers aren't coming. Do I expose Efia to the entire church? Do I expose Keith for what he's done? Or do I walk away from both of them, cutting off the people who have caused me the most pain? I need advice. I need guidance. Please tell me, am I overreacting? Or is this a pattern that needs to be stopped before it destroys more lives? If you've been in a situation like mine, I need to hear from you. I feel lost, betrayed, and confused. My relationship is hanging by a thread, and my trust in everyone I thought I could rely on is completely shattered. What should I do? Should I confront them again or walk away for good?